Test, 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 test. How's my audio? Alright, cool. You also hear my music? My music's cool. Thank you, Beans Bear. Beans the Bear. I guess we'll wait just a couple more seconds and then get right to it. Today's just gonna be one of them shorter streams. Or, I say that, I've only streamed twice, but we're gonna stream just for about the same time. We usually do about an hour and a half. Because at 6:30 PST, Beans and I are gonna go to the gym. It's leg day. So, actually, let's go ahead and redirect to my screen. Heh. So, as you can see, my model is a little bit bouncy. Let me just check. No lines are showing up, right? Alright, cool. Cool. Looks good. No burrito. Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, so, dang, the voice tracking. Let me adjust it so my voice actually tracks properly in this program. Because I'm experimenting with something called... What? I'm experimenting with something called PNG Tuber Plus. It's different from the program I used to use. Wait, okay. I'm gonna adjust some settings really quick before I get into drawing. Ah, interesting. Okay. What if I adjust it here? That. Okay, that's a lot better. I like that. Yeah, so, what this is, it's a different PNG Tuber program. It lets me be a little bit more bouncy, but I do have to adjust the settings so that the mouth opens and closes when I stop talking. Hey, adjust it one more time. Actually, I like that a lot better. Okay, cool. But yeah, so hopefully you guys like it. What we're gonna be doing today is I'm just gonna be working on this idea I had of studying some of my favorite artists, some art styles that I've been wanting to emulate. And the way I'm gonna do that is you can see kind of a couple of names up here. Garmy, Cinnabali, X-Tyrannomon. These are some artists that I like. I don't know what the rules are with, like, you know, reposting other people's art, even if I'm not, like, copying it. I don't want to, you know, like, post something without their permission, and I've also never talked to these people before. I just really like their art. So, I'm not going to be posting their art, but I am going to be posting their names on here for you all to check out for yourselves while I kind of do some studies on stream. I'm going to study their artwork. I'm going to try and imitate, or at least try to figure out how they do things like line art, sketching, rendering, that kind of stuff, just for a little bit. And then, depending on how I feel and how things go, maybe for the last 30 to 40 minutes, I'll work on another commission for another PNG tuber by Really Bad KDR, who's another friend that requested a PNG tuber. So, without further ado, I feel like I'm stalling. I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into things. So, the artists that I have here, so we got Garmy. Uh-oh, hidden layer. There we go. We got Garmy, Cinnabali, X-Tyrannomon, Kawa Anago, 0827, Happy Raccoons, Happy You, and Happy 115. These are all artists I like, for different reasons, but I think something I should mention is that most of them are Digimon artists, because I really like Digimon. One of them is a Pokemon artist, but I really like their style too. So, their names are up here if you want to Google them if you feel so inclined, but I'm actually going to start one by one. We're not going to get through all of these folks, but I wanted to get started with studying the art style of Garmy. They're a Digimon artist, and if you ever check out their work, it's I really like how kind of soft their work is. What you're seeing on the screen right now is actually my own sketch of a Digimon called Gamamon from the newest Digimon series that came out I forgot how many years ago, but I think it's the most recent original series. But basically I was just sketching Gamamon, and then I was trying to look at Garmi's art style and see where I can kind of adjust. And so far what I had found, actually, why don't I do this? Procreate has this really cool feature where you can actually replay, oh, that's just me writing the names, but you could just replay the drawing. So yeah, this was my process. Let me pause it. I started drawing Gamamon. Just like copying, trying to keep it really loose. And then as I was going through it, you'll see that his spikes are up. When I looked into Garmi style, I found out that the way that they draw spikes is a little bit more rounded out, a little less sharp, so I adjusted accordingly. And now we're here. So you'll see I made the head a little bigger. So but yeah, I think without further ado, let's go ahead and get more into that. Oops, always on the wrong layer. A little bit about this little guy, this little fella, while I get my reference. Gamamon. They're from, like I said, the newest Digimon season, but when I say that, it premiered like, I don't know, like 2 years ago? I feel like it was 2021. I remember being really hyped for it when it first came out, because it seemed to be very horror themed. Let's see, I'm just copying some of the features that I see on Gamamon. Oh, his horn actually is on this side. Yeah, it was like presented as this horror, or not presented, it is like based on like horror tropes. Like you have episodes that are dedicated to like Digimon that are, Frankenstein, werewolf, ghosts, demons, vampires, all of that, which is a pretty cool, I think, motif, a pretty cool like theme to go off of. But also, I think what made me essentially fall off of watching it was that it was very episodic, I guess you could say. There wasn't really an overarching story, which there's nothing wrong with that if it's an anime series or just a series in general that like it's meant to be more episodic, so, especially if it's meant to be more for like younger audiences. But I think the main problem that I had with it is that it was like almost purely episodic. Like there was no like, or at least to me, I didn't watch all the episodes, at least until the very end, but to me it seemed like the overall plot just wasn't going anywhere, especially since it had kind of like teased that there would be some kind of overarching plot. And I think I am guilty too of kind of comparing it to nostalgia, to Digimon Adventure, which was like my favorite childhood series, which is my comfort series, to be completely honest. So yeah, it's very possible that the series was like a lot better than I'm giving it credit for, but my nostalgia glasses are kind of like fogging that up. But I don't know, those are some of the gripes that I had with it personally. But with that said, I don't mean to just like talk smack, because look at the designs! The design of this character is really cute in my opinion. And I'm not just like, stroking my own ego. I'm copying this from a reference, so this isn't my design at all. It's Bandai's, or whoever it is that developed this design. Okay. Okay, so right now I'm just copying the reference picture. I'm going back to the reference picture rather than looking at Garmi's art style, just so I can get some certain features. I kind of just put out like some basic things like the arms and legs. So I just want to refine that, and then I'll go back to Garmi's art style and see how I can kind of imitate that a little bit more. At the same time, I really do want to practice also just being loose with my style, or at least loose with like sketching. Because I tend to, me as an artist, and I feel like a lot of other people there, tend to get a little too sucked into the details. And it's like, oh, the details aren't perfect, so this is terrible. It should be a little bit more curved. Thanks, Beans the Bear. That means a lot. Yeah, let me keep it loose, especially with these claws. What I kind of like about like the old Digimon art style, or the kind that you see in like the trading cards, is that it's very like inky. Stuff like you see this claw is very like just dark. You don't have to like put any detail into it. That's one arm. Let's do the other arm. And ultimately I have to like enunciate my words a little bit more. Ultimately, I'm also trying to just practice streaming. Trying to like draw on camera, or not on camera, you know what I mean. But just draw. Finding that balance between like chatting and just letting y'all enjoy the artwork as well. Let me erase this. My goal too with drawing more like Digimon, for example, is someday, not someday, hopefully soon, I want to be able to make my own little creatures. Not necessarily like my own Digimon, but like I'm kind of thinking of Big Ham, one of my favorite VTubers lately. She was talking about how she wanted to see a bit more like, I guess, creatures, little creatures, as like VTubers or streamers. Maybe she meant streamers, but just more creatures. So that's why I'm a bear. Or that's not why, but it kind of... Oh, is my bear not moving? Oh no, PNG Tuber Plus. Poor K. How long? How long have I been frozen in time? Let's see what happens when I click on it. It has frozen. Let me close my body. And then I'll relaunch. There we go. There's my body. Alright, cool. Let us resume. Okay. Alright, so making the claws, kind of defining that. All good here? Cool. Have you snapped anything in Windows? No, I didn't. I think it just crashed. Like, I think the program just crashed. I don't know if it has anything to do with my CPU or RAM or anything like that, but if it keeps happening, we'll check it out. But otherwise, I see no reason to interrupt the stream at the moment. Okay, there's the two arms. Let me actually keep it loose. I gotta keep it loose. I gotta remember. Okay, so there is little neckerchief chief. I was taking a couple liberties with how the body is, not making it one-to-one. No pressure to respond right away, but how's the music? I know it gets a little repetitive, which is why I wanted to keep it, but at least make it quiet. But if it's overpowering the overall soundscape, feel free to let me know. Alright, there's another leg. You know, just like all the other protagonist Digimon, Gamamon is like a dinosaur type. specifically a triceratops, which I think is a pretty cool concept. Let me move the leg over a little bit. I was watching Professor Lando and Randon Nuring with their Isle stream the other night. It reminded me how much I definitely used to be like a dinosaur person growing up. My favorite dinosaur was the Parasaurolophus, the one with the kind of horn on its head that was kind of like worked like a trumpet essentially. And my dinosaur phase does go like in and out. Sometimes I'm like, man, I want to go back and like study that kind of thing. And not study, not like formally, so not like go back to school for it, but get back in, like, you know, play more dinosaur games, that kind of thing. I did play one a couple years back. I think it was called Saurian. That was pretty fun. You could like just choose a dinosaur to be. Get this tail. And then like try to just survive, grow up as that dinosaur. Pretty cool. Though the game that the Andins played, the Isle, that one seemed kinda... No, I can't judge. I was gonna say it seemed kinda jank, but like I think it was made for a certain audience. That audience being like dinosaur enthusiasts and maybe dinosaur role players. No judgment. I know I just laughed, but no judgment. So if you try to like go into it thinking that you're gonna get like you know, the scientifically accurate, or as much as scientifically accurate as dinosaur games can be, like that kind of game, then that's not the game for you. But I think that is what I'm looking for in a game, though, is something that like is a bit more, I guess, up to date with like the latest findings in like, you know, paleontology. Okay, now that I'm looking at this like zoomed out, he seems like he got a big booty, so let me adjust a little. So far, this isn't really Garmy style anymore. I'm copying like almost like the Digimon card game. We'll just go with it. Alright, so that is the style from the Digimon card game. Let me go back to Garmy's art and see how they adjust things. Ah, okay. I'm seeing some things right off the bat. So in general, Garmy's style is very rounded. So like anytime that there's a big spike like this, they round it out. They make it a little bit shallower, kind of like that. So I'm just gonna go in and try to do that wherever I find it. Any kind of sharp edges. Maybe make the claws and stuff a little bit more like bouncy like that. Alright, making the claws a little bit bigger, but also a little bit, like, bouncier, softer. Trying to eliminate some, like, hard, you know, like, angles, or overall making it rounder. At least that's the intent. Like over here, it's very angled. Maybe I can actually even just take out like the I guess part of the skin that it's connecting to and just make it so that the claws connect a little bit more. like I said, a little bit more softly. I think this arm in general could just be a lot rounder. A little less veiny too. It seems like they kind of simplify their shapes as well. Whereas like this arm is kind of sectioned off into like the shoulder, the shoulder, and then like the forearm, and then like the hand, and all of that. It seems like Garmy kind of just simplifies it a little bit more too. So I'm gonna have it like have a taper. I think they might even get rid of just the separation with the claws on the hand. Might just be a big ol' hand. Yeah, like that. The connection to the shoulder seems a little bit off though. Maybe something like that? I also really like the way that they render. It's very soft. It seems like it's just done with like one type of brush, but it could be more though. And the picture I'm using as a reference is a really cute one. It's Gamamon, eating... Is that Holo Holo? No, I think it's just like ice cream, but with those like choco sticks. Oh, I forgot the little... So, he's wearing this little neckerchief. But there should be some kind of like, you know, like where the ties like end over here. I think that's another thing I want to study too, is how to like do clothing folds. That's definitely one of my biggest weaknesses. Got bottom teeth. Oh, this is a really good example. So the tail is very angular in this, but in Garmy's art style, it's a little bit more rounded. So I'm gonna make it go from that. It's a bit simplified too. So like, it's just that. It's almost like a nub. Aw, thank you. You look so sick. Thank you. Yeah, maybe I should get back into drawing Digimon again. I did it for a smidge back before I got into Holostars EN. And maybe I should go back into it. Actually, just for a little preview of some of the Digimon art that I used to do back in the day, let me go to my BRB screen. Oh, some of this is not cringe, but it's just funny to look back on it, but I'll show you. So this is some of my old Digimon art. I'll talk about that last one in a bit, but as you can see, I like did some of the... Oh, this isn't even all of them. What happened to... Oh, you know what? I didn't... some of them I did on Paint Tool Sai. That was before I got this iPad. And some of this I never posted just because like I didn't like how they looked, but like the matte, the Yamato art I never posted. Looking back on it, it looks like it doesn't look bad. Like maybe I should post it, but Remember I did this one based off a video from Karn EX. Oh, thanks, Beans the Bear. Are any of those against the terms of service? Oh, thanks. So it feels different. Yeah, that's a good point. Looking back though, like I do like how I rendered this back then. I want to say this was like 2021, but this is Marine Angemon. I think, what is it? Blast mode? It's like an evil version. It's not an OC. I didn't make it up. But it was based off this video by Karn EX where he talks about like, I think it's a certain type of this, like a certain type of V-Pet. I don't know, feel free to correct me if any of you know. But it was a certain type of V-Pet, I want to say, and they all had something called a blast mode, so it's like an alternate form. The rest of these, though, are like the protagonists from Digimon Adventure 1, the one from the 90s, but I guess also the remake in 2020, but I think I nicknamed it like Danger Digis, because like all of them are doing something dangerous, I think except for Gatomon. For us Americans, Tailmon for everyone else. She's just, I think this is based off that one meme. Do I still have the reference layer? Yeah, it's based off this. And the rest are like, yeah, they're doing something dangerous. So like Gomamon with a hammer, Gatomon, this is also based off a cat meme. Do I have a picture? Here we go. It's this one. Smug Gatomon. Yeah, actually I like how I used to render things. I wonder if I could like go back to doing that sometime. It's a very like painterly marker style. Palmon running with the... It's not even scissors, it's like, you know, topiary like tools. Biomon or Piomon. This one's also based off a reference. That one. I kind of like this one, even though it's very dangerous. Tentomon, because he's, you know, he's electric themed. He's about to stick a fork into the plug. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. And then I think Gabumon's the only one that doesn't really... Oh no, I tried to draw him with like knuckles, like with like brass knuckles, but it's not super obvious. And then Agumon just has a little lighter. Yeah. And then this one, I don't know if I ever posted it, but it was, I think it was my attempt at like a painterly style Greymon. You could, I think, did I even do like line art for this? Oh wow, look at these layers, like... Yeah, I definitely was trying to go for like a painterly thing. Which I'm still interested in, but... And then this one is based off that one meme. This one? I'm a healer, but... But instead it's Joe, because, you know, he grew up to be a doctor and whatnot. I don't think I ever posted that one. I think I just did that one for funsies. And then this was a pretty... I think this was like one of my first studies in like isometric style. But with a V-Pet, which is like the original, I guess, form of Digimon, was like essentially a Tamagotchi, but with fighting, you know, for the boys only, according to Bandai, I want to say. But yeah, so that's some example of my Digimon artwork. Let me go back to my BRB screen because I did have OC's Do Not Steal. But I don't want to show all of them, but I'll just show this one. Jollibeemon! Full disclosure, it's based off an actual Digimon called like Beemon, or is it Beemon? I forgot what it's called, but I just made a Jollibee themed. And then I also had my own Digimon line that was based off Filipino desserts. There we go. Do not steal. These are my OC Digimon. But yeah, Sumon based off Sumon, Kuchintamon based off Kuchinta, and then Ubemon. I really like the design for this. It's not just based off of ube, but like specifically like ube pastries. Sapinmon based off Sapin, and Binkomon based off of Binko, which is also what I'm named after. But yeah, and I think for some of these you can see I also incorporated like pre-colonial Filipino stuff like Bisaya tattoo designs and stuff. But yeah, that's a little bit of a look into a little bit of my drawing history, a little blast from the past. So I don't know, maybe one day I'll come back to it, but for now I'm kind of chill with what I'm doing now. But okay, let's get back to the drawing. I'm just reading the chat. What did you mean, like me? I missed the context. I didn't read it properly. Beans the bear. Don't steal. Oh! Yeah, Beans the bear is my OC character. Do not steal or I will sue you. I don't know the legal ramifications of such things, but yeah, Beans the bear. And I also made a whole bunch of other PNG tuber designs, which you'll probably be seeing tonight over on Beans the bear stream. So I would say tune in. I think that's probably going to be after or not probably, it is going to be like once we get back from the gym. Sometime this evening PST, Beans the bear will be streaming with a couple other folks from our group, our friend group. And a lot of their PNG tubers, if they have a PNG tuber model, it was likely made by me. Unless someone surprises us tonight, we'll see. But back to the drawing, so let's see. I'm trying to work on finding all of these like kind of sharp angles and softening them. So maybe this back of like the handkerchief, neckerchief. Let's see if we can soften that a little bit. Maybe these spikes as well. Okay. Oopsie. So the reference I'm using for Garmi's rendition of Gamamon has the eyes closed. So let me see if I can scroll. Let me just... No, wait, I want to make... I always like making like the top half of the eyes a little bit, you know, darker. Let me give it a pause and let me look through some more of Garmi's artwork. And to those who are tuning in like kind of midway through, what I'm doing is I'm essentially looking at some of my favorite artists and trying to essentially like look at their style, look at or try to kind of figure out how they do things like rendering and line art and kind of copying, not necessarily like tracing over their work or like a one-to-one copy of their work. Like for example, this is Gamamon from Digimon Ghost game, and I'm trying to see how I can like change things according to Garmi's... I keep wanting to say Garma from Gundam, but it's Garmi. Yeah, and just trying to kind of like replicate it just as a study for myself. Not because I want to necessarily copy these styles one-to-one, but I just want to learn a little thing or two about how other artists do things. Let me see how they do eyes. Right now I'm actually looking through their Tumblr. And I'm not showing it on screen just because like I'm not 100% sure what the policy is on like showing other people's artwork. But to be safe and to be respectful to them, I'm just gonna not. But I do encourage that you go search them out. Search out Garmi. Look at their artwork. Admire it as I do. Okay, so it looks like the way they do eyes is also just very rounded. This one seems a little like... The eye shape looks like this, like in the usual like, you know, Digimon style. But it seems like what Garmi does is like they round it out a little bit more. Like it still kind of has that style, but it's a little bit more closer to a circle. So let's try that out with Gamamon. I think I keep wanting to say Garma, both because of the Gundam character, but also because this is Gamamon. So, let me round this out a little bit. And let me go back to the regular reference. There you go, that looks a little bit softer compared to what it was before. Let's see if we could do the same with the other eye. I think I'll just erase a lot of this. Just round it out a little bit more. And one thing I gotta work on with, like, I guess angles with, you know, eyes like this is just making it jut out a little bit more. See? People looks a little bit bigger in this one. Well, now I think the eye is bulging out a little bit too much, so let me just do that. There we go. Make sure that the outline is nice and thick. Okie dokie. Go back to the reference. They made, I'm looking at their Tumblr, at Garmi's Tumblr, they did fan art of Gundam Witch from Mercury. It looks so good. That's one thing I do want to try, give it the good old college try, but like making art of mechs and Gundams, as of right now, that seems a little too hard for me, but definitely something that I would want to get into. Thank you, Beans the Bear. Oh, you're looking at the Gundam Aerial fan art? That one was good. Good. Maybe just the eye have to sit a little bit lower. Oh, this nose is a little bit too angular. Make it a little bit more soft. There you go. It also seems they play around with the shape for Gamomon's horns, so it's a little bit more like this. They also make it a little bit bigger. Gamomon's like horns over here on the forehead. That's a little too tall. There we go. This would need to be a little bit more shallow. Okay, let's see what else they do with their style. Feels like their line art is a bit more, you know, like painterly as well. Like it's all kind of, like it all seems like it's done with one brush. Which is, it's very possible that it's not, but it just looks kind of uniform in that way. I kind of like how this came out, actually. There are some things that definitely aren't perfect, but, you know. You gotta celebrate the little things. Like let me curve some of these a little bit more, or soften some of them a little bit more. I'm gonna move the knee over a little bit more. Something about it still looks a little wonky. And you know what? The Bandai, the official Bandai style has a lot of like musculature. I'm gonna try and... It seems like Garmy like simplifies theirs a little bit more, so I'm gonna try and do that. Right, I think what I'm gonna try next, I'm gonna take a stab at rendering this. Let me try and get a color that's a little bit more accurate. Their rendering is very atmospheric. And let's try it with just a standard airbrush. See what happens. And how I'm gonna try and do this is I'm just gonna color over the sketch lines rather than do like a line art. I actually tried this style out a couple days ago whenever the Andins did their art stream. One of the Discord servers I'm in, they did like a magma board, which if you don't know what that is, it's like it's a platform where you can kind of like draw with other people at the same time. And magma board, like, it's a bit more limited in terms of like what, you know, like the brushes it can give you, especially if you're doing it for free. But I think because of that, I kind of challenged myself. Because my usual, okay, I should probably go into like what my usual like workflow is. It's, you know, kind of very similar to many other artists, but basically I do the sketch, of course, and then I do line art, and then I render like with flat colors, and then I add shading and highlights in their own layers with like multiply and highlight layers, or in this case I use add. So I'm not the type of artist, or not usually at least, I'm not usually the type of artist that does like sketch and then color blocking immediately afterwards. Or those people who I think are super amazing, that they color block first, like either in lieu of sketching or like after, or sorry, like before sketching. To me, like that just seems like super advanced for the level that I'm at. But I could be wrong. People like do things in different ways. But kind of going back to what I was saying about the magma board, what I had done was I did line art. No, I did sketch, and then I filled it in with color, but it was producing this effect that you see here where it's like overlapping some of the original lines. So I had to go back in. I'm just gonna do an example of that right now. Maybe with like a cooler color and the same brush. I like went back over, oop, too big. I like went back over those lines. And it produced like a pretty cool effect. So I'm gonna actually delete that for now and just kind of keep on going with what I was doing before. But I ended up really liking the style that, like, you know, came out of that. So we're gonna give that a go. Because that also, you know, I'm not 100% sure if this is how Garmy does their rendering or does their workflow, but, you know, we're giving it the good old college try. Alright, so that is at least the face, the skin. Actually, the yellow they used, at least in the sample that I'm looking at, seems a little bit closer to maybe blue or even red. Maybe I'm gonna have to color pick from this. Let's try color picking. But I'm gonna have to like go on my Discord, send it to myself. Go on Discord. I'll put myself on the BRB screen. No, not Twitch. What did I do that? Oh, cool. So the person that I was doing a commission for, I gave them a sketch, and they like it. So I might actually work on that once I finish up with looking at Garmi's art style. Sorry, I'm just inserting the reference image. I'm just gonna color pick. See what kind of white they used. Okay, I wasn't too far off. I'm gonna delete that just in case. Alright. See how the color was almost like a blush color. Oh no! Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's continue with this color. And I'm just gonna continue till I get essentially like the whole body. Oops, wait, that's the neckerchief. Let's see. We're at 5:48 right now. Yeah, I think... So yeah, I'll give myself like 12 minutes or however much time until 6 o'clock to finish this like study with Garmi's style. And then I'm gonna move into Really Bad KDR's commission. 'Cause I really like the idea that that she had prompted me with. It's also a mix of things that I also personally really like. So they had asked for like a cat kind of in a pastel goth, but also like kind of Sailor Moon inspired style. And I already like made a sketch. I really like how it came out. But I think what we're going to be doing for the last 30 minutes will be to kind of like go over it, implement some of the changes that she requested, and I'll probably call it after that because I don't think I'll have time for like line art and rendering. Okay, so I got most of the white spots. Let's switch it over to red. They seem to use like kind of a muted red. You like that? So let's put that here. You know what? That seems a little bit too vibrant. I need it to be a little bit more muted. Like that? Is that? We'll adjust. With how this looks right now, I'm definitely trying to do the thing, practice what I preach. I also am an art instructor for my day job. And I always tell the students to just trust the process, even if it doesn't look great, you know, midway through, like right now. Like if I zoom out right now, it looks a little bit strange. It almost looks like, you know, icing on a cake. But when I go back in and kind of refine some of those lines, I'm thinking it'll be better. What kind of black or gray do they use? So it seems like blue tinted black, especially for the claws over here. You know what? This process reminds me of painting, like IRL, like acrylic painting, which I did use to. I took a class. I took a class for acrylic painting around like 2018, and I really liked it. But this is essentially like a similar process where like you do your. Actually, I was gonna say like, so yeah, you do your sketch, your concept, and then you paint over it, and then you like also refine, you know, lines. But when I took the class, because we were copying from life, we didn't always even have like sketches or line art. I think they just were like At least my first one was, you know, copied from life, and things in real life don't have line art. They don't exactly have like these harsh boundaries. You have to use like shading to really like establish these forms. Oh, you know what? This part is not really black. This is more of a gray. And it's a bit more of like a more of a red tinted gray, so something like this. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, like in this acrylic painting class, we didn't really have, you know, like I don't remember if we were allowed to like sketch. No, we were. It was my other. I took 2 acrylic painting classes. One of them was definitely a challenge because I almost had to like we copied from a live like model, not a live model, but it was like a bunch of objects on a table. We had to copy them, but then the teacher also kind of like invited and encouraged us to add things that aren't there physically. So if we were painting like flowers, she was like, "Oh, why don't you just add more flowers?" And to my brain that is very used to just copying, I was like, "What do you mean? Like just paint something that's not actually there?" She's like, "Yeah, what's stopping you?" Which, you know, she's right. Like, what's really stopping me from just like adding things that aren't really there? So like for this Gamamon, I copied it from a reference, but what's stopping me from adding my own little flair, like some wingies? He does have wings. That just looks like a bee. But yeah, I think you guys get what I mean. Oh, I did all this on one layer. Oh well, we're testing it out. We're having some hee hee ha ha's here. We're seeing where this takes us. Because usually I don't do that. Usually I put all the colors in their own layers. Just in case I need to, like, you know, adjust the hue. It's definitely something I do, is like I go in and I adjust the hue if I'm not satisfied with it. So for example, if I don't like the red overall, I would just pick the layer that's all red and I would adjust it to be either more orange or more purple. But now I can't do that, so we're gonna work with it. Okay, the last thing I'm gonna block in is the eyes. And then we're gonna play around with some shading and some lines. Oh, you know what? I should probably do the eye color first. Gamamon has yellow eyes. Let's do it a bit desaturated. No, I don't like that. And this. A little brighter. Okay, I like that. Oh my god, so these primary colors, like this color scheme of like yellow, red, blue, it's one of my favorites actually. I really like primary color schemes. And I think it's because of, like, you know, it's meant to kind of elicit this like childhood feeling, which I think it does. Big sucker for nostalgia. But I've just seen a lot of really cool color combinations that just make it work really well. Alright, so there's our color blocking. Very messy, I know, but what I'm gonna try and do now is put in a little bit of line art, or at least go back over it with line art. Oh, their style is so painterly, I like it a lot, so I'll put in some, yeah, let's put in some line art, but not all of it. Let's try this color. Actually, I wonder if I should do a different brush. Let's do my sketching brush. A little bit bigger. Nah, darker. Let's do this one. Is that too dark? Let's do a bit of a medium between the two. So I had it here, Let me put it down here. There we go. I like that a little bit better. I think I'll also try to... Nah, you know what? Let's go all the way back. Let's just use this color just for things that need to be black. And then maybe go back and like for example like these eyes. Especially in like the Digimon eyes, it's usually like black line. Something like that. But then since the eye is yellow, let me experiment with like orange or red lines. Something like this. Ooh, okay. Oh, I just got a notification that Big Ham is live. I'll probably just watch the VOD. I do love Big Ham though. She is definitely an inspiration to my current PNG tuber journey. Okay, this is looking decent, or at least in my humble opinion. I can imagine someone looking at this being like, bro, what? But let's keep it going. Their line art especially, because the picture that I'm looking at for reference is Gabumon eating a dessert in like, and it's very sunlit. So wherever the sunlight hits, the line art is actually much brighter and a bit more saturated. So for example, like, let's say the sunlight's going this way. The line art here is like this color. While like the whatever's not being hit by the sunlight is more of like a black color. And actually they mix in some other colors too. I like that. But let me get the spots that are like sunlit. Just here. It should also be a little bit more dark. In fact, let's add a little bit, just a teensy bit of like highlighting and shading too. So yeah, what happens if I do this? No, it's not super obvious. Should I just do like pure white? Go back to airbrush. Okay, so I think that might be what I need to do, is just white. But let me also look into like color pick this. Oh, it's a little too dark, is it? Yeah, let's do something like that. God, shading is also a big weakness of mine. Let me... how about this color? Actually, I like that color a little bit more. I think it's more so because like I'm very indecisive with like how I want to render things. Like, do I want to do it like cell shaded style, very hard lines, or do I want it to be a bit more painterly? Because I think in my heart of hearts I want painterly, but it's also harder to do that. Because you can see I'm already like kind of falling into like some of the like cell shading things. Like my edges are a bit harsh. I'm trying to soften them up a little bit more. For the ridge over here. Oh yeah, it's like dark here. It looks a little bit scuffed, but I like it though. Like, there's something about this this rendering style that I like a lot. I'll take some liberties too. Here. Oopsie, didn't mean to erase. Let's see if the sunlight is hitting this way. Actually, this whole part might be covered. You know what? I'm gonna go back to the original Gamamon reference and then just also shade according to that. There we go. So this is covered in shadow. This is all shadow too. Oh, it's already 6. I'm having like a lot of fun with this though, so I'm gonna give myself a little bit more time. And if we don't end up getting to the commission work, that's also fine. We can work on it off stream. But we'll see, we'll see. You know what? This is all in shadow. Okay, now the color combination's starting to look a little funky, but I'm just gonna keep on going through with it. You know, trust the process and whatnot. Make this a little smaller. There we go. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere with this. Yeah, it looks like even the parts that are red are also lined like that. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. Make this a little bit darker. Actually, maybe this should be a little bit more closer to brown. like that. Oops, I keep on erasing. You know what, I think another thing that's kind of like messing with how this is looking is that my lines are a little bit half-hearted. If that's what you would call it. Need them to be a little bit more confident. There you go. Yeah, I don't know, this definitely kind of reminds me of like IRL like acrylic painting in a way. There we go, adding a little bit more like kind of dimension to it. There you go, just gotta trust the process. And play around some more with some of these colors, maybe make this a little bit. Even this, yeah, like even what I'm saying right now with like playing around with like the colors themselves, it's definitely reminding me of like in my acrylic art class I would kind of like, not necessarily do whatever, but sometimes I would be like, okay, let's just like for the sake of things just add blue, like add, you know, something like that. Actually, I really like how that's turning out, so I can kind of see why like Garmy kind of does that. They kind of add a couple of seemingly random like strokes. It's probably not random at all. You know, like this over here, maybe where there's like deeper color. Why not just smudge a little, maybe? Nah. Yeah, I'm actually like thoroughly enjoying this process. And I feel like the more I get into it, the more, like, the less tempted I am to just like erase something that I'm not like enjoying. This color again. Okay, so the last thing I think I'm gonna try out is, let me just merge these two. Oh, that looks cool like in thumbnail mode. I'm just gonna try out putting some highlights down. Like, this is definitely like an area that I'm not super confident in, is like putting down highlights. Even though it's like, you know, get good, just figure out where the light goes. Like, I don't know, sometimes it's just hard, man. Thank you, Beans. You can't get over how good this looks. Thank you, that means a lot. Especially when I'm just kind of like spitballing, almost like just experimenting. It means a lot. Yeah, see, like, the highlights are definitely also another example of where I kind of just do whatever. And like, yeah, like, the light looks like it would hit, like, here, right? So... yeah, it looks like I'm not gonna finish this on stream, at least today. I do want to get a little bit more into like the commissions, even just for like 10 minutes or so, but this is fun. I'm down to keep on like doing this type of stream if that's what the people want, if people are into it. Yeah, alright, cool. So it's definitely not like a perfect replica of how, you know, how Garmy does things, but it's fun. It's fun to try and figure that kind of stuff out. Alrighty, so let's see, it is 6:12. I do have kind of like a hard stop in like 18 minutes. So let me go ahead and go back to my BRB screen. Let's take a look at Bad KDR's commission. There we go. I like this. I like this a lot. So like, they had requested, I actually wrote down what they wanted to. They had requested a cat, colors, black lavender, a little bit pastel goth. The vibe was something like excitable and unhinged, and they wanted me to base it kind of, or have some inspiration from Wicked Lady from Sailor Moon, who, if you don't know, that's the kid, Sailor Chibi Moon, Sailor Mini Moon, Trini. Oh, what was her name in what was her name in Japanese? Uh-oh. I'm a fake fan. I forgot her name in Japanese, but Rini, Trini, like in English. I think it was Rini. Her, when she was like fooled into thinking that her parents didn't love her. So, but her design is so cool. So, based off Wicked Lady, and then a Sailor Scout outfit, and maybe either a magical girl wand or coffee. I did this morning, and this is what I came up with. I think I like I wanted the eyes to do the heavy lifting when it came to the unhinged feeling. But I did get some feedback from Really Bad KDR, just like during the stream too, and she had asked for one. Let me go back to their DM. Rounder eyes, and then maybe longer bangs that hit the chin like curtain bangs. Okay, yeah. Let's try that out. So first, let's try the eyes. Rounder eyes. I wonder if... Actually, let's see if I can get away with using the transform tool. Just distort it. That already looks a little bit rounder. Let's see if I would just need to completely redraw it too. Oh, where did my chat go? Okay, here we go. Let's go back to distorting it. I might need to actually edit the eyebrows, but for now, let's put it here. Let's put it here so that I can... Let me cut and paste these so that in case I need to go back to them, I still have them, but I can also just hide it. Go back to this layer, keep editing that eye to be a little bit more round. Actually, this far part looks good. And then let me edit this eye. Distort that as well. Also make it a little bit bigger. Okay, at this point, I might just redraw some parts. There we go. Edit the, I guess like the actual kind of like cat eye part. Like the cat eye eyeliner. That looks a little off, so let me... This angle is a little bit of a struggle for me, and yet I always insist upon it. So what did I do here? I did kind of like... Maybe it's just the eye itself? Yeah, what if it's not levitating like that and it's just... Okay, I kind of like that. Alright, let's stick with those eyes for now. So that we can focus on the other edit that she had, which was longer bangs. She even said curtain bangs. I need to look at what that means. Curtain bangs. Ah, okay. Okay, okay. So it's almost like it goes down to like the mouth, almost. Okay, let's try that out. I think I can delete the old eyebrows. Just in case. I'm going to duplicate, just save that version for now, and then I'll work on this version. Okay, this is the center, I want to remember that. And of course I wanted to have the earring there. Okay, curtain bangs. Oh, let me look at the reference again. Okay, so center is here. Curtain bangs, drawing. Oh, okay, I see, I see. So it almost goes up like this. Ooh, I like that. Okay. Let me erase these highlights. Yeah, I kind of like that. Okay. I think that even made her look even more devious. Which I like. I kind of want more like devious characters, more absolute rapscallions. More creatures, which is what I've been wanting to do, right? Didn't I say that earlier in the stream? I wanted to make more little creatures. And also, now that the bangs are a bit longer, I can move these eyebrows a little bit more up. Wah. There we go. And of course, I'm also gonna work on this off stream. But I like this change. I like it a lot. Because then that way it's not just a one-to-one, you know, copy of like a Sailor Moon thing. Which I think that's what I had initially kind of like created, was almost like a too much of a it was too much off of the inspiration work. Let me darken this instead of kind of its own original character. I think one thing I'm gonna figure out off stream is cause like there's also little like tufts of fur on the cheeks. Should I like kind of like make it very separate from like the bangs? Or how do I make it so that it's just like visually clear, you know, what's what? I think another thing that I want to work on too. I might even stream this process again tomorrow. Is just how to do like, you know, these are supposed to be twin tails, you know, like Sailor Moon twin tails. Try saying that 5 times fast. And then I kind of made the little like magical girl one like floating here, but I think I'm gonna have to like, you know, edit the pause so it looks like she's actually holding it, but I can't get over how much I like this design. Should the eyes be like this? Little highlight? Or should they be a little bit... I feel like without the shading, it makes it look a little bit more unhinged and excitable. Thank you, Beans the Bear. I just really like this design too, so... Shout out to Really Bad KDR for requesting it. And that's not to say that I don't like the other designs I made. I like all of them. In fact, take a look. All of my PNG tuber kids. Which I wonder if I should probably mention that, like, you know, in the VTuber space, you know, if an artist creates a model, it's kind of referred to as like her kids. So like, yeah, these are PNG tubers, but like, do I also call all these critters, you know, my kids as well? Which is kind of weird because one of them is my partner, but eh. But also like my own not design, my own body is also created by myself, so where do we go from there? But alrighty, let me just sharpen up a couple more things. Add a little bit of highlights. I kind of, the way that I like doing these highlights is kind of cursed knowledge, but you know, I used to be very much into Hitalia and like the way that the artist Himaruya Hideka's they would kind of just do like highlights like this. Alrighty. It's getting to be about that time. It's a little bit before 6:30. Beans and I have to go to the gym, but I think I'm gonna call it here. But I think once we get back from the gym, or I don't know, sometime after like maybe 7 or 8, Beans the Bear, I believe, is gonna stream with our whole friend group who all have these PNG tuber models. I don't know what they're gonna be streaming yet. If it's something like Raft, I might even join in. But if it's Overwatch, I'll just be lurking in the chat and whatnot. But I think with that, thanks you guys, or thanks y'all for watching. Thanks for watching me draw. Let me know if you liked it or not, but otherwise I think I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow as well. Maybe 5 o'clock PST, maybe another time. I'm still kind of playing around with that. And I think next time I also want to go for a little bit longer as well. We might do more of these like studies of like my favorite artists and then work more on Really Bad KDR's commission. But yeah, we're gonna do that tomorrow. So thanks again everybody, y'all have been great. Yeah, and thanks for those that were in the chat and those that are lurking and those that are just watching the VODs as well. So with that, have a good one y'all, and bye.